AZ Reloader coming at you here. I've got a video on a AR-10 build that I did. I finished the build back in January, and I'm still in the barrel break-in stage. I haven't really been able to go out shooting a lot over the past year and a half or so, as much as I normally like to. I've just had uh, life has gotten a lot busier. Trying to move on to bigger and better things. So I've had a lot of my time taken up, basically on work or career related stuff. So I've had less time for shooting, but hopefully in the next couple of months that'll change, and I'll be able to get more shooting time in. This build that I'm going to show you came in at 17 pounds. It's a AR-10 platform, 300 Winchester short Magnum. I didn't really consider the weight of any of the components that I was buying, because honestly, it never really entered my mind until I got the whole thing put together and realized how heavy it is. Um, and I might change some things in the future to lighten it up. But I bought this, or uh, built this for long range shooting, for fun, no competition stuff. I mean, unless one of my friends wants to have a competition or something, whatever. Uh, but for the most part, I go shooting by myself. I take my kids when I can get them to go with me. Um, but I wanted to have something that I'm hoping will reach out to 1,000 yards and beyond, just for plinking fun. Um, and I'm gonna use it for hunting too. Uh, she comes in at 17 pounds, and like I said, I'd probably change out some components in the future to lighten it up to try and get it down to the 10 to 12 pound range. But for right now, I'm really happy with how it feels, how it shoots. Um, and I can't really say anything or accuracy related to it yet, because I haven't started my load development yet. But let me show you what I got going on here. So this is the build. It's black and FDE and OD green. So it turns out, unless you want to spend a bunch of money, you can't really get uh, everything the exact color that you want. Um, yeah, I've already got about $3,300 wrapped up into this thing with the optic, um, which is what I was expecting, but you know, it's good enough, I guess. I wanted to go with just a FDE and OD green build, but as you can see, there's some black in there, like the bipod and muzzle brake, obviously the optic. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna go out and rattle can my rifles. I just feel that that's kind of a waste, because it wears off, and I guess if you like that look, you know, whatever floats your boat. So the upper and lower are arrow, and on the lower I got as a strip lower. Some stuff here. So I did the Elfman straight match trigger with anti-walk pins. I believe this is adjustable from 1.5 pounds to 5 pounds, and I've got it set at 2.5. That's what I got all my rifles set at. Seems like a very comfortable pull for me at 2.5 pounds. So that's what I got all my triggers set to on all my rifles. Um, I did an extended OD green mag release here. I don't remember the manufacturer. And then I got an Ambi OD green safety selector switch right here. Again, don't remember the manufacturer. If I dig through my paperwork, I could find it. If anybody wants any details on this build, I can give them further details if they want more. And then I got a Magpul MOE K2 Plus grip. It's kind of soft. I really like it. And then for the stock, it's a Magpul PRS Gen 3 fully adjustable stock. I really like this thing. And this actually is heavier than I kind of thought it was going to be, but whatever. But I really like it so far. And being a lefty, it's nice that, there's nothing like, you don't have more of a cheek weld on one side than the other. So, and then on the upper, what I got an assembled upper, and I just stuck with the door that came with it. I was gonna do a OD green door, but just decided to leave it as is for right now. And then I got a OD green forward assist right here that I changed out, put on it. The lowers parts kit, if anybody's wondering, is a Arrow lower parts kit. And then, as you can see, the bolt carrier is a CAC. CAC, I believe, is the only company that makes any 300 Winchester short Magnum bolt carriers. I think they're the only company that does a 300 Winchester short Magnum AR-10 platform fully assembled rifle. But I got a little more backstory on this build. I was gonna do a 308 build with an 18-inch barrel. I think it was a Faxon carbon barrel that I was gonna go with. Well, because of good old COVID, a lot of stuff is out of stock. So I thought, well, I'll just see what else is out there. I came across a company called Deadshot Barrels. Deadshot Barrels makes barrels for AR-10s, AR-15s, and SCARs. So I was going to order a 308 barrel through Deadshot Barrels. Well, on their list of chamberings, they had 300 Winchester short Magnum. That kind of piqued my interest, so I decided, well, I'm going to look into that. So I did my research on it and decided I'm going with 300 Winchester short Magnum. So I ended up going with a 26-inch barrel. And what Deadshot does is they're kind of a one-stop shop, I guess, so to speak. So you could get the barrel, the gas tube, the gas block, and the bolt carrier all from Deadshot. And he'll make sure that the head spacing is correct on your bolt carrier and whatnot. So I ordered my barrel. It's 26-inch long bull barrel. Again, wasn't thinking about weight when I ordered any of the stuff. So that barrel is like wielding a baseball bat. Well, probably heavier than a baseball bat, but anyways. So I had it fluted, or I can't remember what the hell they call that, but with the spiral, to shave some of the weight off. And then the gas tube is a 14-inch gas tube, which I don't know if you can really see it in there. But it's what they call Magnum length gas tube, which is basically a rifle length 12-inch gas tube plus 2 inches. And then, like I said, an adjustable gas block. And then the CAC bolt carrier. And then the handguard, as you can see, is a Juggernaut Tactical handguard. It's a 16.5-inch handguard that was another thing that I had to modify on the fly, I guess you could say. I wanted to go with an arrow, but they were out of stock. I kept checking every day for like 2 or 3 months, and out of stock, out of stock. About a month into checking, I decided to just order this handguard from Juggernaut Tactical. And then figured if the arrow one came in stock, I would buy it and try to sell this one, or if I couldn't cancel it, or use it on another build in the future. Um, but arrows never came in stock, and I ended up getting this like 9 weeks later after I ordered it. Yes, you heard me correct. 9 weeks to wait for this handguard. So Juggernaut, what's awesome is you can custom order the length of the handguard and the Cerakote color. I think they offer like 5 different colors or something like that. This is supposed to be, if I remember correct on their website, they call it Arrow FDE. Or no, I'm sorry. I think it's Magpul FDE. Which it's pretty close. And I think Arrow says that their FDE is supposed to be Magpul as well. I'm probably wrong on that. But obviously you could see that the 2 colors are different. The Arrow and the Juggernaut Tactical FDE colors. Juggernaut obviously being a darker FDE. See, get it close up there. So this is a 16.5-inch handguard that I ordered, and it took 9 weeks. It's a really nice handguard. It's strong, sturdy. It doesn't have really any movement. I love it, and it's really light, really light. And then I've got a Mech Force muzzle brake on it as well. I have a Mech Force muzzle brake on my 6.5 Creedmoor bolt gun, and like it enough that I decided to go ahead and get one for this build. And then I got a Harris bipod, adjustable bipod. I think I forget what they call this, cantilever or whatever. So it's adjustable for leveling your rifle. And then I got on this is a Arrow ambidextrous charging handle, and then the buffer tube is just Arrow rifle length buffer tube, or rifle buffer tube, whatever, assembly. I figured I'd start out with that, and if I had any issues with the buffer tube spring being too stiff, I would change out from there. But Jeff from Deadshot Barrels recommended going with an adjustable gas block. Then he said that would mitigate a lot of issues that people have had with AR-10 builds in this chambering. So far I haven't had any issues. I'm still in the barrel break-in stage. I've got like 87 rounds through it, and I've got 13 more to go until it's supposedly broken in. And then I'm going to start my load development. And then my optic, as you've probably already seen, is a Vortex Viper PST. Second focal plane. Let me see. Second focal plane. It's a MOA. I think it's MOA. But anyways, MOA reticle or whatever. But I got a cantilever mount, 20 MOA Vortex cantilever mount, and then Vortex level, and then a Vortex throw lever. So far I'm really happy with this rifle. My kids love shooting it so far. I really like shooting it. It's just really smooth shooting. I guess that's to be expected with a gas gun. And a couple of things that I had to modify for this build that I knew I was going to have to do amongst all the research that I did, was I had to, on the upper, file this opening bigger, just like 40,000ths of an inch, to make sure that the round would have more than enough room to clear. I believe as it sits right now, it's got about 25 thousandths clearance. And I haven't had any extracting issues with any of the cases getting caught up in here or anything. So, you know, since I did have to file it, obviously you see the aluminum right there, but to me, that's no big deal, whatever. This still closes, stays closed. I didn't file that much away. Like I said, it was only like 40,000ths of an inch. You know, if you research the 300 Winchester Short Magnum brass is, if I remember correct, 0.585, where 308 I think is like 0.372 or something like that. So I mean, it's considerably wider than your 308 brass, because they had to do that to try and match the performance of a 300 Winchester Magnum in a lot shorter cartridge. I think this was developed by Winchester back in 2002 or something like that, if I remember correct. But they have like a whole line. They have like 200 or 270 Winchester Short Magnum, quite a few others. But another thing that I had to modify, and that I knew I was going to have to do with my research, was I had to buy metal magazines. You have to buy metal magazines because you have to modify the feed lips. You have to file those down quite a bit. So I had to file these down, and a round will fit comfortably in there. I can stick it in there. Let me see if I can do this on camera. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, there we go. So you can stick it straight down in there. I got quite a bit of clearance. So I had to file these down, the feed lips. And then because this is a 308 mag, it would only hold, I think this is supposed to be a 5-round 308 mag. It would only hold 3 of these. So I took the follower out, cut that down so that this could be a 4-round mag for 300 Winchester Short Magnum. I bought 3 magazines. This is, if you could see it there, ASC. Seem like really well-built magazines. But so far I haven't had any feeding issues out of the magazines, or any jamming, or any failure to extract situations yet. Fire forming, I bought 100 rounds of Norma brass, which is not freaking cheap. I think the 100 rounds cost me about $200. But I was expecting to spend, if I'm going to spend about $3,300 on a build, I'm not going to just go out and buy some cheap ass brass to do my reloads with. So I expected to spend a lot of money on brass. I knew ahead of time pretty much what I was going to spend. I was actually wanting Nosler brass, but that was out of stock. So I ended up getting Norma brass, which through my research, if everything is correct, Norma makes the Nosler brass. Don't know how true that is, but from forums that I found online and stuff, a lot of people were saying that supposedly Norma makes Nosler brass. And Nosler brass, from what I could find, price point wise, is like 50 cents more a piece than Norma. which, whatever. I mean, if they are having Norma make their brass for them, I kind of understand why they're probably going to charge more, because who knows, maybe they're paying Norma $1.75 and they're trying to get it, you know, $2 to $2.25 a piece for it. And then you've got suppliers like name it, Graff and Sons or whatever, you know, trying to make a quarter a piece off of each piece of brass. But whatever. Kind of going off into left field there. So I did expect to spend a lot of money on brass. Like I said, it was like $200 for 100 pieces, which whatever. So I'm fire forming the brass as well as breaking in the barrel at the same time. I did find, because I am limited to this magazine length, and I kind of already knew a little bit ahead of time with my research, that I wasn't going to be able to go with heavy projectiles, mainly 180 grains or heavier. But I decided to buy some like 212 grain Hornady, I forget what the heck they were. They were 212 grain. I want to say Amax, or I can't remember. And when I was doing my loads to fire form the brass, I checked for seating on all the projectiles that I bought that I plan on using for reloading. Well, the 212 grain was going to be seated so far back into the case that this cantilever or whatever you call this, where it's tapered, was actually on the 212 grain projectile in the throat of the case. So yeah, definitely seated way too deep. So whatever. So I ended up selling those, but I'm going with a bunch of Hornady projectiles and some Nosler. I'm staying in between 150 grains to 150 grain projectiles to 168 grain projectiles. See how that load development goes, and then go from there. But that's my build. Like I said, I think I mentioned I got about 3,300 wrapped up into it with the optic. It was pretty much what I was expecting to spend. You know, I'm probably never ever gonna build another rifle like this, especially at that price point. But you know, I plan on doing some other builds that are gonna be on the cheaper end, $1,000 or less, that aren't really gonna be precision, just mainly for plinking and just having fun. I will be doing more videos in the future coming up on not so much reloading related. It'll be more firearms related. Some purchases that I've been making over the past like 6 months to a year, that I want to show some of you guys. And all my videos from here on out are going to be posted on YouTube as you're viewing it, but also Rumble. My handle is the same over there, AZ Reloader on Rumble. I'm gonna, within the next year or so, get completely away from YouTube, because with all their anti 2A stuff that they've been spewing for the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, I'm just don't want to feed the beast, if you want to call it that, anymore. So I'd rather get an account going on Rumble and get Rumble more business than YouTube. So I know some people are on Patreon and some other platforms. I'm just gonna try it out on Rumble, see how things go, and then go from there. I don't plan on doing like 5 or 6 different platforms like some YouTubers. But if you can, join Rumble and subscribe to me. Again, it's AZ Reloader, same as YouTube. And until next time, happy shooting.